Hey warriors, welcome back to Empowerment and Illness. I'm Gwen, and I'm so glad you're here. Before we jump into today's conversation, I want to thank you for spending some time with me during our recent Rewind episodes. I hope you enjoyed going back and listening to those conversations. Sometimes we hear something exactly when we need it, and other times we need to hear it again because we're in a different season of life. The words may not have changed, but we have. Looking back reminds us of where we've been, what we've learned, and sometimes it prepares us for what's coming next. Today's conversation is one I've been having with myself for years. This isn't something I decided yesterday, and it isn't something I woke up thinking about this morning. This has been an ongoing conversation between me, my mirror, and a whole lot of not yets. I've been thinking about shaving my head. Every now and then, I'd stand in front of the mirror, look at my hair, and think, maybe it's time. Then I'd walk away and tell myself, nah, not today. I'd go on with my day, life would move on, and a few months later, I'd find myself standing in front of that same mirror, having the same conversation all over again. Maybe you're familiar with this dance. Maybe you have a dance of your own. This time feels different. If I can be completely honest with you, the top of my head looks like Sherman Hemsley from the Jeffersons. I could have said Bozo the Clown, or just any man who's lost the hair on the top of his head and only has hair on the sides and the back. Now, not too many women wear that style, right? Today, it's my hair. Tomorrow, it might be my weight. The next time, it may be something else. That's what living with a chronic illness like lupus can do. Lupus moved in over 30 years ago and apparently decided it wasn't leaving. It became a squatter. You know what squatters do. They rearrange your house without asking. Lupus has rearranged a few things over the years too, and with every change I've had to make another choice. So let's talk about it. Now, I don't want you to completely focus on me shaving my head because this is just one decision I have to make because of lupus. There have been so many decisions over the years that I forget some of them. That is one of the realities of living with a chronic illness. You don't always get to decide what changes. Sometimes the changes happen first, and then you have to figure out what you're going to do with it. You adjust your routine, you change your expectations, you learn how to work around symptoms, treatments, appointments, and the days when your body has its own plans. Some decisions have to be made quickly. When I had breast cancer, my double mastectomy wasn't something I could sit with for years and think about from every angle. It was a decision that needed to be made because I wanted to live. Other decisions take longer because there isn't an emergency pushing you forward. You have time to think, change your mind, and revisit the same question again and again. Shaving my head falls into that second category. I've had time to think about it, and I've taken that time. But whether the decision comes quickly or take years, it still comes from the same place. Something changed, and now I have to decide how I'm going to move forward with that change. One of the biggest changes for me has been my weight. Since being diagnosed with lupus, I've gained about 60 pounds. If you look at my closet, you probably laugh because I have two sets of clothing. I have clothes for skinny Gwen, and I have clothes for Gwen that I am today. Lately, I've been wearing today's wardrobe a lot more. Every now and then, I look at those smaller clothes hanging in the closet. Part of me wants to keep them because I believe one day I'll wear them again. Then another part of me says, Gwen, when you get there, go shopping and buy yourself a whole new wardrobe. I haven't decided which side is going to win an argument yet. The other day I started thinking about all the physical changes I've gone through over the years. Some I like, some I didn't, some I had no control over. But every one of them taught me something about myself. That's when I realized this decision about shaving my head isn't really about my hair. It's about me giving myself permission to stop fighting every change and start accepting that some chapters of life are meant to look different from the ones before them. Maybe I'll wear wigs sometimes. Maybe I won't. I honestly don't know yet. What I do know is that I'm done making decisions based on what I think everyone else expects from me. This one is for me. After making all of those decisions over the years, I finally realized something. Lupus changed a lot about my body, but it never changed who I am. Then I started thinking about something else. When I see someone living with a chronic illness, I notice the changes. I see the cane, I see the wheelchair, I see the scars. I see the weight gain or the weight loss, but I see the person too. The changes don't define them in my eyes because I know there's so much more to them than what I can see. So I had to ask myself a hard question. Why wasn't I giving myself that same grace? Why was I allowing my own reflection to tell me who I was when I don't do that to anyone else? Living with a chronic illness has a way of putting things into perspective. It teaches you what really matters. It reminds you that your heart, your faith, your purpose, your sense of humor, and the way you love people are still there. Those are the things that make me Gwen. Those are the things lupus never touched. Maybe that's what happens when you live with a squatter long enough. You stop focusing on everything it rearranged, and you start paying attention to everything that still makes your house feel like home. I think one of the hardest things about living with a chronic illness isn't always the illness itself. Sometimes it's learning to accept the person you become because of it. Acceptance doesn't mean I like everything that happened. It doesn't mean I wanted lupus. It doesn't mean I wanted breast cancer. It doesn't mean I wanted to gain weight or lose my hair. It simply means I'm no longer spending my energy wishing my life had turned out differently. This is my life, and I intend to live it. I've realized I can spend my days fighting every change, or I can spend my days making the best decisions I can with the life I've been given. That doesn't mean every day is easy. Some days are hard. Some days I get frustrated. Some days I don't feel like smiling. But those days don't get the final say. I think that's why I've been able to make this decision about shaving my head. It's not because I gave up. It's because I finally accepted that my peace is more important than trying to hold on to something that no longer serves me. Life is made up of choices, and we have to make them every day. Today, I'm choosing to be free. I'm choosing to be truthful. I'm choosing to live my life in a way that I can be proud of. And that's a choice no illness gets to make for me. When I was first diagnosed with lupus, I thought my job was simply to survive it. I was trying to get through the next day, the next doctor's appointment, the next flare. I never imagined that one day I'd be sitting here talking to you about this journey. I never imagined that my story would become part of someone else's healing. I've been through some really tough times, and I won't deny that. There were days I was angry, frustrated, and tired of making one decision after another because of something I never asked for. But if I only talk about those moments, I wouldn't be telling you the whole story. There is a technician at my rheumatologist's office who has been part of my journey for more than 30 years. Every time I'm getting ready to leave, she meets me at the nurse's station, gives me a hug, and asks me how I'm doing. She doesn't have to do that. She chooses to. After all those years, she still remembers that I'm more than a patient. Those little moments stay with you. I've had the privilege of talking with other lupus warriors who were scared and overwhelmed. Sometimes they had just read something online that convinced them the worst was about to happen. I can't make their decisions for them, and I don't try, but I simply tell my story. I tell them to take a breath, write their questions down, and have a conversation with their doctor. If my journey helped one person feel a little less alone, then every difficult chapter has been worth something. That's why I believe this work belongs to God. This platform isn't mine. These conversations aren't mine. I'm simply trying to be a good steward of what He's entrusted to me. If He can use my story to encourage someone else, then I'll keep telling it. So, this Sunday, when my niece shaves my head, It won't be because lupus won. It won't be because I gave up. It'll be because I made a choice. For the first time in a long time, this is a decision I'm making because I can. Lupus may have become a squatter years ago. It rearranged my house, but it never became the owner. And when I look into the mirror after my head is shaved, I'll smile because I'll know something that took me more than 30 years to understand. The mirror doesn't tell my whole story. Set aside some quiet time this week with your journal. These prompts are meant to help you notice your direction, not judge your pace. When you look in the mirror, what is the first thing you notice? Now ask yourself this. Is that the first thing someone who loves you would notice? Write about the difference. Think about one physical change your chronic illness has brought into your life. How has that change affected the way you see yourself? Has it changed who you are? Or has it only changed what you see? What is one quality about yourself that no illness, diagnosis, surgery, medication, or physical change can ever take away? Write about why that part of you is worth protecting and celebrating. For our listeners' action plan, I'm asking you to take 3 practical steps toward giving yourself a little more grace. Step 1. Think about one change your chronic illness has brought into your life. It doesn't have to be physical. It can be a career change, a relationship, your independence, your energy, or even the way you see yourself. Instead of asking, why did this happen? Ask yourself, how have I grown because of it? Step 2. Give yourself credit for something you've survived. We spend so much time focusing on what's next that we forget how much we've already overcome. Take a moment and acknowledge your own strength. You earned it. Step 3. Make one decision this week that brings you peace. It doesn't have to be a life-changing decision. It could be saying no without feeling guilty, asking for help, taking a day to rest, scheduling that appointment you've been putting off, or finally letting go of something you've been holding on to. Choose peace. And now, a word from our sponsor. This episode of Empowerment and Illness is sponsored by The Paper Trail, because every chronic illness journey deserves to be documented. The Paper Trail is more than a medical binder. It's a place to organize your medical history, medication, symptoms, test results, questions for your healthcare team, emergency information, and the moments that often get forgotten between appointments. It's also a place to tell your story because your journey is more than a diagnosis. If you're tired of trying to remember everything at every doctor's appointment, or you're ready to take a more active role in managing your healthcare, the Paper Trail was created with you in mind. To learn more about the Paper Trail or other empowerment and illness resources, visit our website, empowermentandillness.com. Remember, advocacy begins with knowledge, and every page you document is another step toward taking control of your healthcare journey. Be prepared. Don't panic. And now, back to the show. Before we leave, I would like to close with a special portion of the show I call Healing Heartbeats. This is where we allow ourselves to wallow in sorrow. Give yourself 3 minutes to laugh, cry, scream, cuss, or just sit in silence. Whatever you need to do to feel it, do it. Let the depression in for only 3 minutes. Once you've reached 3 minutes, compartmentalize it and get back to living. This is a rinse and repeat behavior. You cannot let depression take over because when it does, it will not let go. When we hear about the passing of someone, they have the day they were born and the day they pass away. There is a dash in the middle. It's not a long line, but a short dash. That dash represents your life. Go live in spite of having a chronic illness. Don't let your condition stop you. Thank you for sitting with me today and allowing me to share this part of my journey with you. By the time you hear this episode, I may already be bald. I may love it. I may need time to adjust to it. Or I may decide to change my mind and extend my hair deadline. Either way, I will still be Gwen. Maybe your body has changed in ways you never expected. Maybe you are still trying to figure out how you feel about those changes. Give yourself time. You do not have to pretend you like everything that has happened, but you also do not have to be ashamed of the person you see today. As for me, I'm choosing freedom. I'm choosing to live truthfully. Laugh when something is funny, feel when I need to feel, and keep doing the work God has placed before me. Lupus may have rearranged some things, but it does not get to tell me who I am. Remember, you have the strength, the heart, and the support to continue your journey. Be safe.